The relationship CSFD enjoys with Booths dates back to 1992. It installed its kernel distribution system, KDS, for the upmarket North of England grocers. The system provided different modules of software to look after Booth's operational business processes. The two companies have recently entered a new phase, with CSFD installing its latest product, VKDS, a fully updated .NET compliant version of the original system.
I think it's fair to say that it's been a very stable relationship. I think it's a very trusting relationship. I think crucially the software application has worked. It has never let us down so far. And given that it is, as I say, effectively the core of the supply chain, without that we'd be in a very bad situation very, very quickly. So I think we've worked closely with them over the years, and certainly in the last couple of years with a new project, we've kind of moved on to quite a significant new level of cooperation. As our company expands and as we want to integrate more and more and more to new initiatives, we decided to make that investment with CSFD to bring ourselves back into the contemporary world of software from perhaps where we were.
VKDS is a very modern system as far as technology is concerned. That makes it very easy to integrate with other Windows applications. It runs on the PC. The system actually sits on the PC, so there's no server. The only server that is used is for the database. So the system uses the power of the PC to perform its operations. VKDS makes it very easy for the user to interrogate the data. There are facilities within the system that would allow you to drill down to find the information that you are looking for within the system very easily.
The modular architecture of VKDS means it can be installed to interface with systems other than CSFD's own. Booths was specially interested in a system that it would be able to adapt itself on site. A stage-by-stage installation was carefully planned to link the old and new systems to run in parallel during the transition. It was important not to disrupt the company's distribution of products to its 27 stores.
We wanted to avoid the notion of a big bang where the whole supply chain changes on one day. There's very high risk strategy and there's no need for it. So when we were developing the solution with CSFD, we divided the whole project into 4 phases based on product setups and finance ledgers and warehouse systems, so that we could gradually bring people on board, we could gradually bring the solution into Booths. Main function, there's 4 or 5 in the company, were introduced to at the design stage of each part of the project. So we've had super users in finance, in trading, in distribution, in IT, all who've been involved from early days. And they're the people who've been doing some of the user testing, and they've been feeding back tips and hints and suggestions as we've gone along. They're then responsible for training their colleagues, and we get this kind of train-the-trainer approach and cascading information down to what must be around 200 users, 150 users, something like that.
One of the great advantages of using VKDS is that we do a mock-up of exactly how the system will look. We will then present that mock-up to the customer, and they have an opportunity to give their input. If there's things that they would like to change on it, we can do that as we go on.
It's been very smooth. It's all really in the preparation, being able to receive a delivery quite early before the planned go-live date and get it rolled out to the users for testing, first of all, which not only gives them a chance to get used to using the application before we actually go live, but it also just gives them confidence so that when they do go live, that there's no sort of scary moments.
Staff feedback following the installation of the new base data module is positive, especially about the fresh lookup features with advanced filtering functionality.
The old system was very much based on lots of separate screens, and you would have to have a very good memory or a very long list on an A4 piece of paper of the key screens that you would use for when you're working. The benefit of the new system is that it's all laid out on tabs.
It's much more up to date, it's much more user friendly. So all the information we've been keying in is the same as what we keyed into our old software package, but much easier, much clearer
We can do better reporting from the system to find out various data, and we also have found time-saving exercises, so it is quicker actually to input a batch of invoices.
CSFD's work with Booth is a good example of the way in which it works with logistics and distribution-driven organisations, providing them with management solutions that underpin their day-to-day operations.
Our relationship with Booths is typical, and we work very, very closely with our customers. They trust us with their businesses.
The project is on budget. The project has not fallen over. There's been no major compromise of our, or even minor compromise of our functionality and our ability to get an awful lot of cases out to an awful lot of stores 6 days a week. We are 3/5 of the way through the project, and we've got the product data set up, we've got the purchase order set up, and we've got the finance, the back office purchase ledger set up. The next one is probably the real big one, which is the whole warehouse management system and the sales order processing. It's obviously logical to do it in this way because we've got all the product data first before we start moving around a warehouse. This is probably the biggest, and it's going to be the most scary of the whole projects. But I think given our confidence in the last 12 to 18 months to get to where we are now, I think we're fairly confident of quite a significant result.